right, good morning to everyone. These microphones were not powered by AI. Thanks for joining AI Now, what's actually moving the needle in hotels. I'm Pavan Kapur, former Chief Commercial Officer. Entertainment, check, in Las Vegas. Although today, the reason why I'm rocking this blue suit is because this gator blue suit, I'm representing the University of Florida, where we just launched a master's in science in AI-driven hospitality, the first in the country. So you can tell that we're all in on AI in hospitality. Excited to introduce the panel here. Actually, I'll let them introduce themselves. Omar?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Omar. I come from New York City, and I work for the Wyndham Hotels and Resorts in New York City. So today we're going to talk and we're going to share whatever we know from inside how using AI. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Melissa Stricker. I am the general manager at the Fairfield Inn & Suites by Marriott in Charleston, West Virginia. And I look forward to speaking with you all today on how we use AI with a select service brand property.
Thank you. My name is Michelle Sharma. I'm the commercial director for the Refinery Hotel Group. I handle pretty much everything from revenue management, sales marketing, digital, and also we're very actively looking into new projects in the tri-state area. Very excited to be here on this panel.
All right, let's dive right in. So you can't walk across the floor, you can't watch TV without someone mentioning AI. If you listen to any public company's earnings call, everything's about AI. So where is AI actually being used? So our esteemed panelists are going to give us some concrete examples of what's working. So Omar?
So through Wyndham brand hotel and resorts, we're using AI in different features. So from guest experience to guest engagement to revenue to financials to many different. So I can go one by one. And Wyndham been investing since 2022 or 2021, end of 2021, and implementing through Wyndham Connect Plus platform. That's where we can go as an operators, including our team and using different features of AI to run the operation, to optimize rate, to manage revenue, or to deliver a profitable net revenue to our ownership and also to our operators or to our brand.
So we're using it also through the brand. Marriott properties use all kinds of different avenues to make sure that we are using AI to help the guest and to make sure that things are going well with everyone's stays. We also are using other systems that we would be using anyway as programs that we just need in order to function every day, but they all seem to be using AI more and more. As Pavan said, out here, you're going to see a lot of folks who have AI integrated into their system. So we're using it for temperature control. We're using it for sentiment analysis, just a variety of different ways that can enhance the guest experience, but also save us some time. We all know as hoteliers, we don't have a lot of that sometimes. So save us a little time to do the things and find the information out that we need, but do it in a way that still gives that human touch.
So here in my portfolio, they're all independent hotels, and we're very conservative when we're deploying the AI solutions. So at this very moment, the ones that is in deployment, we just activated the AI agent in the call center. So those AI agents are filtering through helping us to help efficiency when, the first 2 minutes of the calls that there will be more, I will know more about the guest needs and then to be more specific on where to deploy those calls. Secondly, we have also just activated a guest messaging solution, which is powered by AI as well. That is helping us, our front office operations team to be more efficient, to free up their time to be really at the front desk, to be in front of the guests, to do more guest facing. conversations versus at the back office, doing all those emails. And then last but not the least, my revenue management system, I've been training the system over the last 10 years to understand the way that I yield, to understand, my more aggressive way of like capitalizing the high demand days, and to help me with forecasting, and then to really help me with like capturing those hidden opportunities 90 days out where can free up my first 2 hours in the morning to be now back to like 30 minutes, so I know exactly what my focus would be. And that has really been quote unquote life-changing.
Life-changing. Michelle, you mentioned call center, SMS messaging, revenue management. How are you measuring the ROI on those?
I think at this point, calculating ROI is a little early for us. What we're doing right now is to really understand and making sure that our team is fully optimizing the solution, and to train the team to take full advantage of what the solution is able to offer. And also what we're seeing right now, especially from the commercial side, is not just the ROI, it's more of the NOI. It's more about it's not just about how much more top line revenue, ancillary revenue you're bringing on the table, but it's also what is saving in your labor and the expenses. And so is it like adding an AI-driven solution is going to help you to make it more efficient or productive and on the top line? However, from the back end infrastructure-wise, if you have to really like make a big infrastructure change, which is going to cost you a big item on your CapEx, then that is also something that, as a leader, to have a more holistic approach to understand how to really understand those returns.
Melissa, you mentioned temperature control. I haven't heard that one before. How are you using AI, and what's the ROI on that?
So we utilize a program called Telcanet, which goes into the rooms, has a temperature gauge in there, and allows us to control the temperature. I mean, we've had it for quite a while, and that's kind of to my point that a lot of programs and a lot of products that we have we already had. Now they're starting to utilize AI, and so now we're starting to see those upgraded abilities to monitor, to select the guests. The guests can select their temperature control. The system speaks with our PMS system. They know when people are in the room. They know when people have been checked in. They know those types of things. And then they kind of learn the guests, especially for our longer term guests, learn their temperature preferences and those types of things. So it's been very interesting. ROI, I mean, honestly, just energy cost savings is really the only way we've been able to really monitor that. And it's still new. So to Michelle's point, we're learning kind of as we go.
That's actually a pretty good use case. If I like the temperature at 72, I'm checking in, have the room at 72 when I walk in. That's pretty good. So Omar, AI, there's some sexy use cases, some non-sexy use cases. I think a sexy use case is like a sexy robot, like that's the AI of the future. Give me some example of some non-sexy AI that you've implemented at your property.
Well, I mean, I can talk about all the AI features we're using. Like if you look at Wyndham Connect Plus, we have messaging 24/7 with the guest. Also a live voice of an AI agent helping the guest to book directly, to travel at ease, to pay at ease, to book at ease. And that way, which our culture, we want our guests to travel at ease, to travel at ease, to book at ease, and to stay at ease. That's number one. Number two, when it comes to, for instance, to robotic or to any AI system replacing the human being. For instance, we used to use 3 to 4 days to 5 days to reconcile invoices between our PMS system and OTA systems. Due to the integration of all OTA's platforms And our PMS system, we just push a button now. In 2 seconds, you will have a live reconciliation, 100% accurate. So that helps a lot of hotels. You got to look at this if you're running hotels. You're missing a lot of money if you don't reconcile officially your commissions. On the revenue side, for instance, we have a RevIQ and AI system. It's a live, an automatic system, optimize the rate, change the rate based on the trend, based on the weather, based on last flight cancellations, based on the comp set 5 times in 24 hours, every 4 hours. When you sleep in, the system is working for you in watching your system. You don't lose opportunity by yielding a high ADR or capturing certain shares from your comp set. This is great, but the other thing I will suggest, which is the way you teach the machine is a machine. AI is a machine. Whatever information you put in there must be accurate. You have to be careful the way you enter those information, because the more you give information, the machine can react based on that guidelines or that information you give into that machine. In the other side of the equation, it's a great thing. The return of investment, I see it, you saving a lot of money on payroll. When you reconcile 3 or 4 days or 5 days of work, and you're doing it in 2 seconds, that helps you out to save there, and you deliver profitability to the ownership. And at the same time, you have accuracy on your financials. When it comes to revenue, it's a good thing. I work in hotels and industry for over 26 years. I didn't see none of hotels has 24 hours revenue manager looking at the rate. When you sleep in, things can happen. So when you capture and using AI, that helps you out to generate more revenue and not to lose shares and capture and yield high ADR. The other thing, Wyndham also create an AI feature for us called IQ on the marketplace, which you can be able to gather all those vendors. The vendors here, they all in one platform using one feature called IQ Marketplace. You put the item based on the brand standards, either sheets, either shampoo, either whatever you want, based on the standards you need in your hotels in different brands. And that gives you live shopping, which one offers the best rate, the best price. So that helps you out to do comparison, helps you out to save in long run. So those are a few, and then I can go more and more later on. Thank you.
All right, thanks. All right, Michelle, let's flip it. What's one AI solution that you implemented that failed, and why did it fail? Was it technology issue, adoption issue?
Back to the beginning, the conversation is, I don't think it's a fail. I don't see it as a fail. I really see it as a learning experience. I'll give you an example. I've trained my RMS for the last 10 years. It learned how I yield. And just recently, we were utilizing all of the historical data. And the best part of the New York City market, if you don't know, is ever changing. It's so dynamic. There's never one day that is the same year over year, week over week. So for the past UNGA, the market did still fairly well. However, the way that we yield that particular Monday, Tuesday, knowing that there is a Jewish holiday overlapping, which is going to impact the overall demand. But based on our knowledge, we think that the hotel should still be able to at least get a 3 to 5% growth. But we ended up didn't. So that is one learning. And then when I went back to, my pricing recommendation, which is the beauty of the system, is it would allow me to really go back and track with all this historical data that it did suggest maybe you should hold on your rate instead of pushing it out to $899. This is where you've been picking up at mid $600, $700. Maybe you should just keep rate at $799, or try to inch up your premium room type. So that is actually one thing I reflect when we review the star data for that week, when we really look into the trailing 5 years or even pre-COVID, same UNGA week. That's when I think to myself, there's still still so much to learn, not just for ourselves, for the market, and with the help of AI. But at the end of it, it's really like, how much you're feeding the data, how much you allow the AI solution to really learn the way that you learn, and then try to give you the suggestion and try to listen. Because a lot of times as a revenue manager, you tend to have this like, I know it all, my way is the highway. So that is really something that I've learned is the system now is smart enough to give me accurate or, really valid suggestions, and I should listen.
Melissa, where have you tried to implement something that failed, and why did it fail?
I would say probably in our reputation management, we kind of went a little overboard, thinking, oh, we can get all this assistance with AI for reviews and information and everything, and we started noticing that we were kind of losing that human touch that we kind of talk about. So there's always going to be in the hospitality industry the need for that human touch, and I think that we just went a little overboard. We thought, well, we can enter this into the system. They can tell us, what to say and how to say, especially with those tricky reviews that you get. But there still has to be that person to sit and look and really focus in on what needs to be said. So.
All right, Omar, there's a lot of hoteliers in the room. What's one piece of advice you would give them on their AI journey?
Well, I can tell you from the inside, you got to be careful using AI in one way. You need to know the liability of data breach. Like, there is a data privacy. Make sure who will be responsible in case the system gets breached. Because the minute you hook up the AI machine to your PMS system, so you giving permission to all guest information, and all those are sensitive information, has to be protected through a third party, has to be protected through your brand, which is that has to be looked at by legal team and expert on cybersecurity. That's one of it. The other thing, I think innovation, AI is a great thing. It's the way you teach the machine and the way the machine behaves and gives you a result. But we can ever, based on my experience in the hospitality industry for over 26 years, you can't change the human touch. We need that human touch regardless. Even though you're using AI, it's a great thing, but you need the human touch to be in contact with the guests, to engage with the guests. There is certain things, just experienced 2 days ago. I booked a hotel. I tried to call the hotel to verify my last digit of the credit card I used because I booked 6 months ago. And the AI keep turning me around until I get frustrated, said the machine was not teached properly inserted. The machine will stop at a certain point when there is off-call or off-track questions. That's something developers, that's some expert needs to look at it. And the most important is the liability, the way we're using AI and protecting the privacy data. It's very important. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the human touch is important. We work in hospitality after all, right? Like if I want some towels sent to my room, maybe I don't need to speak to someone. I could send that via SMS. But if I show up to a property, I want to be greeted with a smile, maybe a hug. Michelle, what's the best piece of advice you'd give?
I think at this point, I myself is still an AI amateur. So really just equip yourself and try to learn as much as possible. And also these days, especially in the independent landscape, a lot of clients will come to you and tell you, hey, I have this AI solution. I'm going to be able to, to help you with XYZ. But really down to what we are seeing from our side is, what is the problem that we have that I need help with? And because there's so much noise there's so much like everybody is, I have an AI this and I have an AI that. But down to, as an operator, as a commercial leader, is, do I have a problem that I need with? And is your solution to help me with this problem? Yes, then let's talk. So there's a lot of noise, and let's really just like get down to the basics. And then, there's so much learning out there, so many podcasts, so many conferences like this. So really talk, learn as much as we can. And that's really what's my advice or my learning here.
All right, we have 2.5 minutes left. We'll do a lightning round. It is, in one sentence, what's the AI trend you're most excited about or skeptical about? And I'll answer my own question here. I think AI is going to change the way loyalty programs exist, rather than just earning points and achieving tiers. I think AI is going to personalize a loyalty program for everyone. And the room temperature is a great example. But I think we're going to be soon see the end of just earning points and tiers. And I think AI is going to power a lot of that.
I think the future of our hospitality industry is the innovation and technology. One of it is AI. I think it will be a revolution in the hospitality industry in the future. We just have to know how to use it, how to legalize it, and how to protect ourselves. By encourage everybody to use it a certain area, a certain point, because it's something you can upload thousands of contracts and you can summarize it in 2 minutes instead doing 6 months of analysis to summarize the whole year of work. So it's a great thing, but the data privacy needs to be protected. The way we're using it needs to be learned properly and train your staff, and just go for it. Thank you.
I'm interested and I'm most excited about how it's going to be able to help our back of the house with things like inventory, scheduling, those types of things. Those programs already exist. I just haven't yet explored them yet. And I think that starting small and kind of building up into those things will really be very exciting in the future. And I know for a lot of select brand properties and a lot of smaller ones, we don't have necessarily the access all the time to those types of things. Owners are maybe a little hesitant to spend that extra money. But I think that the brands have done a wonderful job. All the brands have done a wonderful job in doing and creating a lot of AI focused programs that are going to help us in the future. But yeah, things like inventory and scheduling and back of the house stuff that makes the team be able to spend time with the guests and with the other team members, it really means a lot more.
Okay. I'm good. Yeah. So I think really, besides this entire infrastructure opportunity overall for hospitality, we talked about the 4.4 trillion injection into the GDP for the global GDP for the next 10 years, and then travel as 10%, you're going to get $440 million. So for me personally, I am more interested in actually on the content creation side. So, as an independent hotelier, building your brand, and how do we really fill ourselves with knowledge and technology to combat with OTAs who just have this, great news about like getting ChatGPT into the major OTAs. But as an independent hotel, for us to create this, to really build a strong brand, I would rather allocate, my resources and my expense budget into focusing on the content, focusing on the basic, like with the smart AI influence or content creation and the new generation book, they are using OTAs these days. They are not going to GDS. They are not going to your FIT wholesaler, which is another topic we're going to talk about with distribution channels. So the younger generation are Instagram, TikTok to really influence their travel. So how, as an independent lifestyle hotelier, how do we really focus on strengthen our own brand to be eventually win or at least maintain our little slice of the cake in this whole big OTA with everything and anything about AI is what I'm very passionate about.
All right. Well, we are out of time. Thank you for your patience with the audio challenges. I'm sure our panelists will be available for questions since we don't have time on stage, but I appreciate you guys and thank you, panelists.